Hi, and welcome to TransAction TV. I'm your host, Anthony Attanasio, CEO of Hawk Strategies. Joining me today is Jennifer Marandino, Executive Director of the South Jersey Transportation Planning Organization. Jennifer, thanks for being with us today.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
Yeah, it's a pleasure to have you. So, Jennifer, tell us a little bit about yourself and SJTPO. We know you represent 4 southern counties in New Jersey. Why
Yep.
don't you just tell us a little bit about you and the work you're doing?
So let me start by noting that, like MPOs, I know you interviewed Ariella and Dave earlier, but MPOs coordinate transportation planning in urbanized areas over 50,000. If that means anything to others. So really what SJTPO and the other MPOs are doing are ensuring that the federal dollars and funds are being spent effectively in our region, like you said, and specifically in our region, Atlantic, Cape May, Cumberland, and Salem counties. Ironically, New Jersey is unique in that it is fully covered by an MPO. That's not the case in the other states. We talked about DVRBC and NJTPA. SJTPA was established in 1993 for our 4 southern counties. Our population is 590,000, so much smaller than
Sure.
our neighboring MPOs.
I think the city David's in has 300,000 people,
I think there are
right?
probably about 6 million
You're right.
people in total. Yeah, so we're very small compared to them. Actually, in terms of like where they rank in the United States, they are like top 10 in the MPOs. There's 410 MPOs in the United States. We're about 100. So like even
Okay.
though we feel like we're small, pretty average in terms of the MPO size.
Okay.
So again, we're always in the room together. I often feel very dwarfed by them because they're very regional in nature, national, I should say. But regardless of our size, all MPOs essentially serve the same functions. We maintain the eligibility to receive federal dollars for our member agencies, provide a forum for cooperative learning, technical resource to our MPO our county partners. That's a lot of what we're doing is that technical resource. I think we'll talk a little bit more about like the work program that we're doing, but really kind of providing that regional approach to transportation planning. So it's kind of like a high level
Yeah, no, that's great.
overview of the work that
And
we
you
do.
do great work. So talk to me a little bit about TransAction. It's our 49th annual. How was
Crazy.
right? How was your conference this year? Did you enjoy it? Have you been getting a lot out of it?
Yes. So I'm trying to balance in personal and professional life, right? So tomorrow morning we leave for vacation at 9 o'clock. So it's a little bit trying to fit work in and fit the conference in.
Sure.
But yeah, a lot of great sessions. Crazy that it's the 49th year. Excited
Right.
to see what we come up with for the 50th
Yep,
year.
it's going to be a big one.
Yeah. So yeah.
So tell me in particular, there was a countywide local road safety plans a workshop that you put on. Can you talk about that?
Yeah, so one of our staff, Jenna Monahan, is the project manager for the effort. So we have SJTPO has a long history in traffic safety. So I often joke, a lot of times people will say that's our top priority, but if you're looking at where we're spending our dollars, unfortunately it's not on safety.
Sure.
All of the trends recently in crashes, fatalities are going in the wrong direction. So we
Yes.
knew that we wanted to do something a little bit more significant than just our regular transportation projects. So we wanted to do those countywide plans to ensure that our residents, our people that are traveling in the area, are getting home safely. So despite being small, we talked about that, we were the first in the state of New Jersey to initiate the countywide plans. Each of the counties, through different efforts at the MPO level, are doing some sort of Vision Zero regional safety work. We were the first ones to get that started. Again, being small and nimble, we can kind of maneuver our way around that. Through the federal dollars, our Highway Safety Improvement Program funds, we were able to advance this safety work. The session on Tuesday that Jenna did with our consultant team was focusing on our year 3 effort because we've completed the plans. It started in the fall of 2022 and just finished up 2024. So we have plans and now we're working on implementation. So we spent a lot of effort and money that was on the plans. We didn't want them sitting on a shelf.
Now it's time to put it in action.
Yeah, so what we're doing is having the consultant on board to help our regional partners advance the priorities, advance the different work that's being done in that plan, to kind of put something, where the rubber meets the road on the pavement there. Yeah. So we're excited about that. Hopefully the additional support here is to get applications for our local road safety program Also, the discretionary grants at the state level or the federal level, SS4A, hopefully some will shake out there. But then also the work that our municipalities and our counties are already spending money on their municipal aid or their county aid. There is a crash risk portion of the project work that was done. Hopefully they can incorporate safety into their already existing projects. So
Right.
really going a longer way with those safety improvements.
That's great. It sounds very in-depth.
We'll see how it works out.
Well, I mean, I have faith in you. So, that's a good transition, talking about safety and whatnot, to talk about the Target Zero Commission. So Governor Murphy signed into law a Target Zero Commission and placed you as one of the members on that commission. Can you talk about a little bit about that, but really more how it aligns with SJTPO's vision?
Yeah, so we're one of 13 members, right? It's kind of mind-boggling when you think about when people say we're going to get to zero, right? We're conditioned to think that zero is impossible.
Right.
But when you ask yourself or myself, like, who are you willing to risk?
Right.
The answer is easy.
Right.
Like no one, right? No one wants to have anyone.
Someone's mother,
Absolutely.
brother, sister, friend. Yeah, everybody's right.
So the answer becomes very clear that we need to get there. So we have public outreach, better planning, all of these aspects of roadway improvements are kind of pulling together, emergency response as well. So in terms of like how that works we have a long-standing commitment to safety at our agency. We have a robust behavioral focus.
Okay.
We have 2 retired police officers that go into schools to do safety education. They do car seat fittings, things of that nature. So hopefully we'll be able to bring the educational piece to that. That's something that is unique to SJTPO. NJTPA has Street Smart, so it's a kind of a complementary program. So they do awareness for risks with respect to drivers, passengers, bicyclists, that sort of thing. If anyone is interested, you check out our SJTPO safety page. It's great information on there. So that's just one part of the work to get us towards zero death, ensuring that we all get home safely. I sort of mentioned a little bit about the countywide plans. Unique to those plans was a large data collection effort. So what that we were able to do is put our sub-regional partners in a position to identify the crash risks that are happening, so not responding to the actual crash, but maybe a feature on the roadway that created a risk and could have the potential for crashes. So there was a lot of data analysis that came into there. It identified sidewalks, where right angle crashes were. Essentially what that created was a set of systemic improvements that can be spread broad-based as opposed to hotspot locations.
Okay.
So hopefully what they can do, like I mentioned, is utilize their municipal aid, their county aid, leveraging all of those resources, because our safety dollars, as much everything else is very limited.
Yes.
So until we do that on a broad scale, I think we have a better chance of getting to zero there.
I think it's a very comprehensive approach. As a former assistant commissioner of the DOT, I know firsthand how pedestrian, bike, and just road safety, it's an everyday battle. It's never the same. Our state's very unique too. I mean, your counties, it doesn't matter where in New Jersey you are. We have highways that have a lot of ingress, egress points. And then you have a lot of highways with not a lot of access. So folks are choosing to cross mid-road, and it's a real issue. It's a real challenge, and I want to thank you for taking such a serious approach to it. Last question for you. You mentioned that, you have a smaller staff, right? It's a tiny but mighty, right? It's,
yes, said that several times this week.
Right, tiny but mighty. But I would say that, you've mentioned that you rely a lot on consultants and partners, which is great because the industries are here to support the public sector. Can you tell us maybe about an exciting project that's coming or something to anticipate?
Yeah, so kind of hard to go over one, so I'll kind of give a broad. We've got in our new work program, or it's called a Unified Planning Work Program, UPWP. We have one that's going on now that'll be through June. July 1st, we have 2 consultant-led efforts that are there. Advanced feasibility concept development for the Atlantic County Bikeway West. We had done an effort like that a number of years ago, so we're now trying to figure out what the environmental issues are, kind of give a little bit of a deeper dive. So hopefully what we can do there is carry that on to the next stages, because again, we don't want a plan to sit on a shelf and things
Sure.
of that nature. So hopefully we can get a little bit more of that feasibility work done for Atlantic County, and ultimately that will connect into Camden County, Gloucester County, kind of the Circuit Trail moving all the way up. So that's a really exciting project. A number of years ago, we did a regional freight plan. So another effort in our 2026 work program will be looking at that top priority, kind of trying to advance that top priority, which was, let's make sure I'm getting it right, the freight movement analysis of the Mill Road corridor. So that is a industrial park in the city of Vineland, but it really is a connection that people are coming from Atlantic County all over, kind of bringing movement and goods to that area. So that's another project that we're excited about. That'll get kicked off later this year. The RFP for our advanced feasibility work will be in June. The other one I mentioned is in December, the fall time period. We also have quite a number of projects that are continuing from our work program. We already talked about the year 3 implementation, so we're excited to see what projects come out of that, get safety improvements on the road. We have consultant selection that is in process for our regional active transportation master plan. That effort was delayed a little bit, small but mighty. We're still losing a little bit of staff, so we're trying to build. So that was one that was delayed because we had some staff kind of transition. So we have we're looking to have a consultant selected maybe within later today, hopefully.
Good luck.
So we're gonna make that
Knock
call.
on wood to you.
But really, that is looking for those opportunities to establish the connections between our trail work, whether that's on-road, off-road, kind of figure out what the safest path there, but making the connection between where people are and want to be, the attractiveness there, and then also, again, figuring out how that might connect into the Circuit Trail and the DVRPC region, really kind of creating that regional vision for our work on the trail effort. And then the last thing I want to mention, a lot of our work is focused on counties. We borrowed, I often say we stole, but Dave Barron said we're just, borrowing good practices.
Sure.
They had a complete streets technical assistance that went down to the municipal level. So like I said, a lot of our work is at the county level. This effort was trying to help our municipal governments figure out how to better implement complete streets initiative. The state is fabulous in having complete streets policies. Not as good at the implementation side of things. So this
tends to end with the grant, right? Other than administering the grant properly, they kind of like, you got to do that, right?
Yeah, so this is really to figure out and help that technical support at the municipal level to establish complete streets policies that are maybe a little stronger, maybe do some bicycle or network safety audits of that nature, kind of a trail planning work. Just last week, we made the call to the municipalities. So the borough of Buna will receive technical assistance in Atlantic County. They're doing a complete and green street for all policy guidance. Similarly, Harbor City in Atlantic County received the same technical assistance for their policy work. And then Pennsville Township in Salem County, they're doing a bicycle corridor or network plan. So again, those emails and phone calls just went out last week. Hopefully to start that work in partnership with VTC, Sustainable Jersey, Cross County Connections. We have got a lot of great partners to create that, to create that work and really figure out how to get complete street initiatives down to the implementation at the municipal level. So we're excited about that work too.
Yeah, it's fantastic. Jennifer, I want to thank you very much for joining us today, because it sounds like the work, and I already knew this, but for our viewers, that the SJTPO is really moving the needle in your 4 counties, and MPO work is so important. So we want to thank you for what you're doing, and thank you for joining us and for being part of TransAction.
Absolutely. Thank you very much.
Ladies and gentlemen, Jennifer Marandino of the SJTPO. My name is Anthony Attanasio. Thank you for joining us for this episode of TransAction TV.